Hello, my name is Mike Foster. I'm the host of the Bookkeepers channel. I'm one of the co-founders of the Bookkeepers Alliance, and today I'm going to share with you 3 practical tools to help you gain that valuable time to do what you really want to do. Because at the end of the day, our time is precious and we want to maximise every moment of our time to be able to focus on what I consider to be your high-power activities, those things that you really need to focus upon to help you achieve your goal and your mission, vision and objective. So 3 quick practical tools that you can apply in your business on a day-by-day basis that may just give you a few moments in each tool, but hopefully the collaborative effect is you gain a lot more time to focus on those high-power activities. So first of all is what I call the interruptions log. Now, we can have a log of interruptions, but first of all we really need to know why we're really in business and what truly we want to achieve with our business. And then we can focus on our high-power activities, and when we know our high-power activities that we need to be dealing with on a day-by-day basis, then it's a lot more obvious to us when we have a distraction or an interruption. However, when we have an interruption or a disruption, then how can we log that? Well, very simply, one piece of paper. So one piece of paper, a line down the middle. On the left-hand side, who is interrupting you? And on the right-hand side, we put why they're interrupting us. And each time that you're interrupted or distracted, add to this log who it is that's interrupting you and why it is. And once you've completed an interruptions log over a period of time, you'll understand who it is on a regular basis. It may be a member of your team, it may be a supplier, it may be a customer that's interrupting you on a regular basis. And with this individual, you can coach them, you can train them, you can communicate with them more effectively and I suppose change their perception about how they can communicate with you and reduce those number of interruptions. When we understand why they're interrupting us, then we can set processes or systems up in place that with the target objective that you have less of those type of interruptions. So for example, if you're always being interrupted to ask, for example, has the post arrived today, or how do I do X, Y or Z, then you could put a process or a system in place to avoid that question being asked of you. The second quick practical tool is what I call a discussion planner. Now, a discussion planner aids your effective communication with different individuals. How many times do you have a conversation with the same person a number of times per day or per week? This discussion planner is to aid that communication and make it more effective, because at the end of the day, every time we speak to somebody, we have that nice part of the conversation that starts of how are you, how's things going. And I'm not saying not to have those conversations, but of course if we only have one conversation instead of 5 conversations, we're only having that interaction of those moments at the start of each conversation rather than 5 times. And how would we achieve that? Well, with a discussion planner, we'd have a page which we'd break up into, say, 6 different areas, and on the top of this, we may have different names. And then each time I decide that I want to talk to one of these individuals about something, I would list it on my discussion planner. Now you can see that if I want to have a conversation with Alan, I've got 3 things that I now want to speak to Alan. So we'll have a quick meeting and we'll discuss those 3 things, rather than those 3 things individually throughout the week. Now obviously there may be things that are time pressing, but what I'd also encourage you to do is to encourage Alan to have a discussion planner for you, so that therefore he's not interrupting you on a regular basis, and therefore he's covering his 3 or 4 issues that he may have to discuss with you at the same time at that meeting. And lastly, the third practical tip is something that a lot of my clients feel uncomfortable with, but it's a weekly planner. So a weekly planner of your working day. I've done here from 8 till 5 with an evening allowance. And I've also done Saturday right through to Friday, inclusive of the 7 days. Because predominantly many small businesses are working in the evenings and they are working at the weekends. But the idea of the weekly planner is to plan your week effectively, so again you can start to get some valuable time back for yourself. So what I'd ask you to think about here is scheduling things that are important to you, those high payoff activities. Now of course you have to schedule out time that you have as fixed time with your clients already. So for example, if every single Monday you're out at a client's premises all day, then mark out that day and put the name of the client in that box. It may be then on Wednesday morning, for example, you have another commitment. And again, put the client's name in that box. So that you know, looking at your weekly planner, you know that you have specific client time that's focused upon. And I'd also encourage you to think about your personal time. So for example, on a Tuesday evening and a Thursday evening, they're your gym times. It may be on a Monday evening, you have to take your son to Cubs, or your daughter to a club of some sort. And it may be just on a Saturday and a Sunday evening, you just want some downtime and you just want some time to yourself. Then you've got other client work that perhaps is a little bit more flexible. But actually I'd encourage you to think about how you can plan that into your week. Now you may have a weekly plan which is fixed for the 52 weeks of the year, or you may just do a weekly plan at the start of each week. So for example, I might say, okay, first thing on Tuesday morning, first thing on Tuesday afternoon, Thursday afternoon, again are my client specific days that week, or every single week, that I'm going to commit that time to actually other client work that I can fit in a much more flexible way. I might say, for example, that every single day at 12 o'clock is my lunch break. And again, how many of us as business owners actually dedicate some time to actually have a specific lunch break, take time out of the day, maybe to go to the gym or just to go out for a walk or just to step back from the screen for a little while and have our lunch. But then I might think, okay, well, now I need to think about my proactive time. So what am I going to do, for example, for my business planning and for my marketing? So I might say actually for the first hour on a Friday, that's going to be my business planning time. I might say on a Wednesday afternoon, that's going to be my social media day. And it may be that in that hour and a half that I've got scheduled for my social media, that I've actually planned my social media for the rest of the week and I've scheduled posts to go out across the next week. And I might say that actually this Thursday morning is my proactive marketing time. So when am I going to start speaking to people, my prospects, referral strategy for example, it's some proactive time that I've implemented. And a key aspect in terms of putting your weekly plan together is to have an idea of what your high power activities are you need to do in that week, how you're going to achieve them, and actually when you're fixed to those times, then you may also encourage yourself less often to be distracted or interrupted from those times and those tasks. The other thing that I encourage a lot of my own clients to think about is then to think about, well, when am I going to do my emails? So it may be that I'll do my emails before I start work at 8 o'clock. I might do my emails when I come back from lunch at 1 o'clock, and then I might do my emails at the end of the day. And again, it's not that I wouldn't react if I was required to, but by disciplining myself, say actually I'm only going to look at my emails 3 times a day, and I'm going to give myself 15 minutes to read and respond to all those emails, then again I'm more effective rather than being interrupted by what's coming through my send and receive on my Outlook box or equivalent email. So I hope that these 3 practical tools have been thought-provoking for you. I hope they're tools that you can implement into your business to help you gain back some more valuable time to enable you to focus on those high payoff activities.